The Lord thy God will set thee on high, above all nations.
Rulership over everything in the world gonna belong to you and the Israelites if you keep the commandments.
That's right.
That's right. God, Christ, the 12, the 144, the multitude. We're gonna rule the earth.
Right.
But if you don't like that, then first of all, something wrong with you.
Right.
Second of all, I can't help you. Third of all, I pray that God don't kill you. The things that we lost from our people, right? Because, like the officer brought up before, stuff like this, slavery, oppression, all these things, don't you think that when they had us in slavery, they pushed this mindset on us? They forced us, right? Because they had the men sleep with their mothers, the daughters sleep with their fathers, raping them, selling them. If you let the people that are destroyed run the world, well, not even run the world, but run free and rampant, when they have kids, what are you going to teach those kids? The same thing, right? And then what happens? A perpetual sickness becomes imbued into our communities, right?
Right.
And now we all walking around as zombies.
Right.
But these things can be fixed. These things can be, there's a solution to these things. But our people tend to cover their ears because they believe what? Oh, this is a white man book. This has nothing to do with us, but the whole damn book is about us.
Right.
You understand? Because everything that's been brought out to you, does this apply to anybody? Is everybody going through this? Is everybody being oppressed? It's very apparent who's being oppressed, right? Because you ever talk to somebody from a different race, like somebody white, right? You may have a conversation, and then you realize y'all not even living the same life. And they'll say, what? I don't get why I do that. It's very easy to fix. It's like, do you understand what we're doing? Do you understand what it means to be a so-called black person? Do you understand that? Right. They don't. Their mindset is on what? America, because America has plagued their minds to believe that everybody's the same. Nobody's oppressed. Because guess what? We got a good job. You can walk around. So I can walk around so I'm not in slavery? Yeah, you're not in slavery no more. You can walk around. You can go to the grocery store. But I live in a dump. I live in the hood.
Right.
My roof is falling down. I got roaches and rats and every type of critter inside my house is running rampant. And I can't do nothing about it because what? My credit messed up. Or because I'm black, they don't want to give me a better place to live.
A lot of people are not even taught about credit.
No, they ain't talk about credit.
They don't even teach about credit.
Especially in our schools.
And how important
Right.
it is.
Credit, you need credit to survive, but what they teach the kids, our kids in school, what? Just live your life how you want. Have fun, smoke weed, get drunk, have sex, find women, do all that type of stuff. Live your best life. But what are other nations' kids learning? Credit, how to save, how to hunt, bonds, how to fish, how to hunt, how to damn sew clothes, how to farm. Our kids in the hood, give me a gun, give me some drugs, I'm gonna go fight that nigga I don't even know. Because he got a different color on, or the gang mentality, right? And now people get lost in these things, read.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they should be in behavior as becometh holiness.
So the aged women, the mothers, are supposed to be guided by their husbands to raise their kids based off of God's commandments, because the order and the power comes from the man of the house, right? Like you said. The man should be teaching the women these things, right? His wife. And then the wife will teach what the man teach to the kids, and they'll what? They will solve the plague of our community. You understand? Read.
Not false accusers, not given to much wine.
It says false accusers. Do our people lie?
Yes.
For less, for nothing.
Yes.
If our people get killed, if somebody kills, if there's a, let's say, a gang issue, somebody got killed, right? A kid might be killed in the just in bypass it, right? They gonna snitch. Nobody, no, we ain't gonna snitch.
Ain't nobody telling nothing.
That kid dead. They're like, but we ain't gonna snitch, there ain't no snitch. Well, somebody's son gone. And you know who did it. What you gonna say? I'm scared. Scared of what? They might kill me. Well, if you want afraid to, I ain't gonna use that word. If you want just a terrified little scaredy cat, then you'll understand that if you told who did it, then you don't have to worry about being killed. Why? Because they know that if they do it, well, Jerome just killed somebody. Hey, Jerome killed somebody. Hey, Jerome found out you killed somebody. He come kill you. Hey, he died because he told on Jerome. Jerome did it. Where Jerome at now? Jerome gonna be in prison.
Well, I'm talking about.
Oh, the guy that got shit killed. Yeah, he gonna be asleep, right? But our people don't even think about it like this, right? Read.
The last part again says, tell false witnesses and drink.
Not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things.
It says not given to much wine. We know what drunk men look like when they be drunks, but when you see a drunk sister, it's something different, right?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why is that such a
Because it's a belittlement of that woman as a woman.
Right, because yes, men have a godly role they must feel, but women do also, right? He didn't say you to be chaste, good things, teach your kids, teach the women. Your mindset has to be what? In control. But if you drunk and you a lying ass sister, now what? You messed up. And what your kids gonna be when they grow up? Messed up.
Right.
Gossiping.
Be that virtuous woman.
Then we went to Mardi Gras a couple weeks ago, last week. The most vile thing you might ever see in your life. Little girls hanging out of windows with their butt out. Hanging. One girl fell out the car. Got back up, said, we don't want your help. Drunk, dancing, trying to catch moon pies and oatmeal pies and some damn necklace beads. Little girls, 6 years old, just walking with 30 with 20 beads on her neck, just. And the mom like looking around. Oh, my daughter's over there. You understand what we into? But because our people don't see it as a sickness, but see it as fun, what it and demonic.
It's demonic.
What they do, they teach everybody else to be that way. You understand? Read.
Wake them up.
That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
Because all these things aren't naturally in our women, right? So the woman is supposed to learn these things from her father.
Right.
The father taught her mother. The mother taught the child. She grows up. The husband, the father finds her a husband, gives her away to her husband. That man teaches her what? He just continues what the father was already teaching to her. And then what? Y'all have kids. And now what? The kids learn this. And it's the commandments fix is a way to break curses.
That's right.
But our people see it. You don't have to keep commandments. The commandments. You'll be surprised at how often you hear people say the commandments done away with, the law is done away with. Nobody can keep the law.
They
But
only say that because of when Jesus Christ was crucified and the blood was shed. But like
Go
we
ahead.
already said, it's a limitation to that.
you know, want to give you the exact answer of what he means?
Yes.
Get me Hebrews 10. Hebrews 10 and 4. The 4 says he done away with the law of sacrifice. Look. It's Hebrews 10 and 8. The 10 and 8. Because the Bible explains everything, right? The Bible isn't this mysterious, I can't figure it out. Keep the commandments, read the Bible then. Then your understanding will start working, because the Bible, to even grasp what it's talking about, you have to be doing the things that's in it, right? It's like trying to be a doctor and you see all these medical terms in the book, but since you're not practicing to be a doctor, will you understand what you're looking at? You be like, what do you mean how do I sear a heart valve back? I don't even know that. What is that? What is a heart valve? Sear it back? What does that mean? Because you're not practicing it. But if you're practicing these things, then it start what? Making sense, because you're actively doing it, right? So when God say, hey, women don't wear pants, you like, I get it. Because we learned this from heathens. We got oppressed for this. We got killed for doing this. Hey, don't eat pork, shrimp, shrimp, lobster. Why? Because the heathens did this. These things are directly against God. Don't break the Sabbath. I'm like, I'll break the Sabbath. Like, how you gonna just break the Sabbath? You know what the judgment for breaking the Sabbath is? Death. You're supposed to die. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Read.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 8. Above when he said, Verse 4, for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body thou hast prepared me.
So when Christ came, he only took away the law of sacrifice. You got 5 categories of law. You got sacrificial, ceremonial, dietary, moral, and civil law, right? A civil law is like the marriage, right? A moral law is like thou shalt not kill. Ceremonial law, Sabbath, new moon, all these things, right? Dietary law, they bring it out. What you can eat, what you can't eat. Why would God get rid of all those? He wouldn't. So when he say take away the law done away with, he talking about the law of sacrifice, because now, let's say like now people breaking the commandments, right? They all types of sin. How would you back then get forgiveness for those sins? You would sacrifice an animal. You would sacrifice a lamb, a dove. Based on what you did, you would have to sacrifice an animal. You have to find a Levitical priest, go to the temple, find an unblemished calf, bring it to the Levitical priest, and he'll sacrifice it and do all the things he needs to do to get your remission for your sin, right? Is there a temple here? No. Do you know any Levitical priests? Do you have any calves, like a cow, like a perfect cow on you? Damn. So if you commit a sin, would you be able to get forgiveness for sin if God didn't change it? And that's what that means. He said that's why, he said, because what sacrifice? Read.
For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins.
Why? Because that's what we used to do to get our sins forgiven. Read.
Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not.
When Christ came into the world, he said sacrifice gonna be done away, but don't do this no more. Let's have faith in Christ and keep the commandments.
Right.
And now you get that forgiveness. That grace that you actually talked about earlier, that's what that is. When he came into the law of sacrifice, he gave us grace. And now we're able to what? Not be killed for breaking the commandments, because if he didn't do that, we'll all be dead now, because there ain't no temple, there ain't no Levitical priesthood anymore. So we just be SOL, right? And stuck in this condition for the rest of our lives. You understand? That's why we come out here to teach our people the Bible. That's why we come out here to teach our people the importance of what? You're an Israelite. Keep the commandments. Because can everybody get to heaven? No. Is heaven for everybody? Who's it for? That's a good. I like how you said no, because most people say, yeah, everybody can get the kingdom. No. Everybody can get to heaven. So what? Who can get to heaven?
Will go.
Okay.
But.
There's a but.
It's a but.
What's the but?
You gotta believe that he is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
He was born again.
Okay. I'm listening.
Back and rose again.
I'm listening.
You gotta believe that.
All right, so you believe that Israelite, and you have to believe that Christ came and dies and rose again.
Yes.
Okay. And what else? There's one more. You missing something.
Please help me.
Get Matthew 19:16. Read.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 16.
Go.
And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do?
So a man came to Christ and said, what good things must I do to get to heaven? This is what the topic's about, right? Read.
That I may have eternal life. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good?
So now Christ is speaking. Christ said, why do you call me good? Read.
There is none good but one.
Because Christ understands who sent him. Christ understands what the mission was, right? Read.
That is God. But if thou wilt enter into life.
What is life? To enter into life, what is that? What is that talking about? If thou wilt enter into life. What's your name? I didn't get your name. Sheila, I'm Ezra. Nice to meet you. So Sheila, if I was like, if you want to enter into life, what am I saying to you? If you would like to enter into life. Oh, praise him. What he's saying is, if you want to enter into the kingdom of like lifetime, eternal life, you understand? Because remember, we all want to get to heaven, right? even back then, that was the thing. It's like, hey, you gonna return the kingdom unto Israel now? How do I get to heaven? How do I get the kingdom? They're asking Christ these things, and Christ is giving them the answer. Read.
Keep the commandments.
He said, what?
Keep the commandments.
So now you gotta keep the commandments on top of the things you said earlier, right? It's like it's a combination of things, right? You Revelation 14, read.
Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14.
Go.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life.
To have what?
Right to the tree of life.
You have to keep the commandments to even have a shot at it, right?
That's right.
So if nobody's keeping the commandments, if the church is not teaching the commandments according to the Bible, and that you're an Israelite, do you have a shot to even get the kingdom? You don't. Meaning what? You'll be stuck here. If Christ come back and kill everybody, you're gonna be numbered amongst them, and you're just gonna be pushed to the side, right? So when the soldier brought out making haste to do these things, you understand why he says that? Why he said make haste to keep the commandments. Can you know when Christ coming back?
Yes.
You know when he coming back? Exactly like what day?
Oh, no.
Okay, just making sure. Clarify that, because this conversation about to be very different if you had answered that a different way.
No, sir.
So,
They say he's gonna come back like a thief in the night.
right, nobody know he gonna come back, right?
Yeah.
So if Christ come back tomorrow, but you decided to wait till next week to start keeping the commandments,
Oh,
what do you think the result's gonna be? Do you think the result's gonna be you know what, God, he understands. He understands. He's not gonna hold that against me. He's gonna let me slide. You think he'll let you slide? No, right?
because God is a forgiving God, but God is also a just.
And what else? Give me no license to sin. What's that, Sirach, right?
Sirach 15 and 20.
Sirach 15 and 20. And then get God as a man of war also.
Exodus 15 and 20.
15 and 20. Go ahead.
Sirach chapter 15 and verse 20. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly.
Now he said make haste, because once you understand what you have to do, whatever you thought was right, you have to get rid of it. We understand it's a process. We all had to go through the process. It's the fact that your brain has switched over to say, I have to stop doing this. Let me actively stop doing this, right? But a lot of times people say, I'll do it later, or I don't want to do it right now. You don't got time. You should act like you don't got time, like Christ coming back tomorrow. That's how you should operate once you learn and continue to learn what you got to do. What does it say? Read.
Neither hath he given any man license to sin.
Give what?
License to sin.
Isn't what?
Neither hath he given any man license to sin.
He gives nobody license to sin, meaning once you figure it out, you can't say, well, I'm going to take my time to start keeping the commandments. So you say you want to keep sinning?
You can't say that if you already know.
Right. Because if you say you're taking your time to keep the commandments, what are you really saying?
You're procrastinating and you really don't want to do it.
And while you're doing that procrastination, what are you doing?
Really, you don't want to do it.
And you're committing sin still.
Exactly.
Right, you're still doing it because you're doing something. It's only one or two ways. Either keep the commandments or don't keep the commandments.
Right.
Either you operate in the will of God, and that's keeping the commandments.
Right.
Or you operate in the will of Satan, which is what? Not keeping the commandments and doing what you think you want to do.
That's right.
So if you say I'm gonna wait, you're saying I'm comfortable over here with Satan.
Right.
I like the way I feel comfortable. It's all warm and fuzzy over here. Right. You got a lot. It's all spacious out here. You got air conditioning over here. He feed me. He give me nice clothes. I like it over here. I don't gotta do no type of work. But then when the commandments come into play, you say, man, I have to actually try. Now I have to actually try to keep the commandments. Now my ways are now being weighed against me.
Right.
You have to shake that off. So when you leave here today, remember that you have to what? Not drag your feet. Because you don't want God to drag his feet with you. Because the only way to get blessed is how?
I'm sorry.
The only way to get blessed is how? How do you get blessed? We read earlier.
Still,
All right, do it one time. Do it 28 and 1. You want to get blessed. This is how you get blessed, right? This is why it's all important. The Bible said the same thing over and over and over. There's some deep mysteries in there, prophecies, but the things you need to make it to the kingdom are very straightforward, blatant, like, don't do this, don't do this, handle it this way. He lays all that out for you. But our people say, that book too big, you know, it's a white man book. But you never read the book. You get what I'm saying? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 in verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if you listen to God, it said diligently. Read that part again.
If thou wilt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Like carefully, you making an effort, like diligently. You ever see somebody like build a watch, and they got like that little thing, a little monocle on their eye, and he just like, they're being very particular about everything. They're not wasting no money. Like, okay, if I move wrong, I can mess it up. They fully invested into what? Making that watch. You have to be fully invested into keeping the commandments. Right. You either take that time and be like, okay, what the Bible say about this? Go into leadership. Hey, I got a question about this. How do I handle this? God dealing with the leaders or the prophets that know the Bible to what help you. So they're gonna give you the right information to better your life. They're not gonna let you just die on the side of the road, right? But a Christian church will. The Christian church will let you sit there, give them money, and you don't learn a damn thing. Right. I asked somebody what a church is like for most of their life. I said, give me a commandment. He said, I can't think of one right now. So what you been doing the whole damn time? You just been sitting there picking your nose, flicking boogers at each other? That's all you've been doing in church? Might as well.
No teaching.
Because you're not doing anything, right? Read.
If thou wilt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do.
And to what?
And to do.
To observe and to do. As you learn it, you apply those things that you diligently are seeking to do. Right? Read.
All his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations.
Rulership over everything in the world gonna belong to you and the Israelites if you keep the commandments.
That's right.
We have God, Christ, the 12, the 144, the multitude. We're gonna rule the earth.
Right.
But if you don't like that, then first of all, something wrong with you.
Right.
Second of all, I can't help you.
Yeah, about it there.
Third of all, I pray that God don't kill you. That's about the sum of the game at that point. Right? Read.
It says, and on what?
Above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings.
All these what?
Blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
He said, when you keep the commandments, the only way to be blessed is to keep the commandments. And when you keep the commandments, you shall be overtaken with the blessings of the Bible. Right. You have to endure to the end also, though. You understand? It's not like an immediate, like, I keep the commandments, now I'm blessed, I'm going to win the lottery. No, it don't work like that. Right. The Bible is not no magic 8-ball, ain't no dang, it's not a genie. It's not what this is. Right. You understand?
And we don't try, like a lot of times when a lot of people pray, they try to, how would I say, negotiate.
Yeah.
Well, Lord, if I do this right here, Lord,
right.
I just need you to do this for me.
Right.
Because I'm doing this right here.
You know what God say? God say, well, how about this kill your stupid behind? How about this do that?
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example.